Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. I'm going to start my series on the various rationales that have been provided for the tariff policy and what they have claimed they will do. So the first rationale is that it will bring in trillions and trillions of dollars and offset income tax and bring down the deficit. So I wanted to share some facts and figures with you as to why it's not a reasonable assumption that that could happen. So I thought I'd use my handy dandy chart, and as you can see, I've pulled data from 2024. The total value of imports was 4.1 trillion. The amount of income tax collected was 5.1 trillion. The deficit was 1.8 trillion, which contributed to an ending debt for the year of 35.46 trillion. And just to reiterate, so everyone's aware of the relationship, if we end a year in a deficit, that adds to the national debt at the end of that year. So off to the right, you see the estimated effective tariff rate has been quoted at 28% when you take the weighted average of the various tariffs that are out there. That tariff amount on the imports of 4.1 trillion would yield only 1.15 trillion in new tax revenue. And if you assume a 5% decrease in consumption and demand because of the new higher cost, it actually would yield less than that. I had a 5% discount on it, gets it to 1.09 trillion. So as you can see, the tariff revenue is just a fraction of the total income tax collected. So this notion that the tariff revenue could completely offset the need for income tax is just false. And that idea of eliminating the Internal Revenue Service, replacing it with the External Revenue Service, does not hold water. In fact, this new tariff revenue is not even large enough to cover the annual deficit and get it to a solvent budget. On top of that, the current budget bill moving through Congress is adding to the debt with billionaire tax breaks $7 trillion over the next 10 years, which will only make this math work even less. So my 2 cents on the believability of the tariffs to actually eliminate income tax, reduce the deficit, is that is completely false. It is, in fact, a source of revenue, but as we know, that source of revenue comes with lots of downstream and upstream impacts that are putting further pressure on the whole scenario that I just shared with you. And all of this is completely off the table if the whole goal, as some have now said, is to not have tariffs, that it's just a bargaining chip, which I'll talk about in another video. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks.